MC Reef. We back, episode 19, going live with the MC. As always, I appreciate everyone that shows love, tunes in, taps in. Um, it's not forgotten, I definitely appreciate everyone that shows love, for real. Um, hmm. Yeah, Wednesday we had a really interesting guest, Q the God. Shout out to Millie, what up, my guy? Yeah, we had Q the God on last week. Sorry, on Wednesday. We had Q the God on Wednesday. Last week, I believe, we had Chris Welch's. Um, yeah, so today we got a very dope guest. She's a dope female artist. If I'm not mistaken, she's from Flatbush, Brooklyn. Um, I discovered her by being featured on a Cypher tape by Nick Moody, so shout out to Nick Moody. I'm pretty sure I would have found out about her eventually, but that's how it all started. And she's just been dope all around, We've had some conversations, and she shares a lot of knowledge that she's learned over the years, which I'm grateful for. And she's just all around badass, man. I ain't gonna hold you. She's a dope lady MC, femc, if you will. So I'm gonna welcome my guest, Akila K, to the chat. Let's see how long it takes to get her in here. Right at the bottom right with a question mark, you just click that, ask your question, and I will definitely
Oh,
be
this shit fire.
in. I would definitely ask all questions. What up,
What up?
Akila
What up?
K? What's
What
up?
up? What up?
What up?
I ain't gonna lie.
Appreciate you.
I'm showing my age right now, but I ain't really done the Instagram live. I think I've done it like literally twice. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. This is cute.
Nah, trust me. I literally just started going live. Well, I mean, I went live maybe just like you, like 2 times or whatever. But when I started doing this was like the first time actually really going live and talking to
Okay.
people. But I would just like normally go live and just like, yo, what up, everybody? Oh, nobody in here? All right, bet we out. But yeah,
I
I
feel that.
mean, now we notice this is our level of networking. This is how we reach out to people.
Right.
People could just be in their crib bored as hell, and they see somebody go live, and they just jumping
Tap
in.
in.
Next thing you know,
Exactly.
you're having a whole yeah. So thank you for being a part of the show. I appreciate you
Thank you for
100%.
having me. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here and
No
all that.
doubt. No doubt, no doubt. This is my platform right here,
Right.
something that I created. I was actually high one day and I just went live.
But listen, the
So
best
yeah,
stuff be happening from that. So
yo, for real. But nah, we chilling. We chilling. It's growing. You're the 19th episode.
gang. Y'all
And
some
I'm just happy with the
other.
trajectory that it's going in.
Yeah.
We're going up. As you can see, I got people that tap in and they show love and all that. I see you got your peoples tapping in. That's dope.
Yeah.
Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to my
Ray
squad.
Clouds, Emiliano. Those the homies. Um,
Yurt.
let's get straight into it. Was I correct when I said you from Flatbush?
So no,
Oh
but
shit.
it's okay.
Damn.
It's okay. It's okay because I spent a decent amount of time in Flatbush growing up. Like I would say half of my origin came from Flatbush, so I'd be remiss to not show Flatbush love. Hence why there's a song called Flatbush Apple, my
I
latest
feel that.
project. Um, it's funny because someone's just calling me, and that's my ringtone too, so that's hilarious. Um, but I'm originally from Crown Heights, Brooklyn, and
Nice, nice,
yeah,
nice.
but the reason why I say I spent a lot of time in Flatbush is because I it's one of my shout out to Erica that's tuned in because she's like, yo, you from Flatbush, stop playing. Oh, the reason why have so much love for Flatbush is because I spent a lot of time in Flatbush with my grandmother and my grandparents.
Mm,
So the times when I wasn't in Crown Heights, I was in Flatbush. Also with my father and my aunt, because everybody else was in
fire,
Flatbush. Yeah.
fire.
So, but regardless, it's I'm a Brooklyn native. I'm on Long Island now, but Brooklyn will
Why
always
y'all
have
say
my heart.
on?
You said what?
Why y'all say on? It's not an actual island.
Oh, technically, Queens and
Let's
Brooklyn
hear it.
are on Long Island.
Yo, I mean, statistically through the map, yeah. I mean, geographically through
Yes.
the map, yes. But it's just odd, like y'all refer to it as an island and y'all don't cross no water or nothing. Shout out to Cuzzo. Shout out to Faye
Yeah.
Bejula. Shout out everybody that's tuning in. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, at the bottom right there's a question mark inside of the
That's
chat
word.
bubble. Ask your
I
questions.
like the chat
Um,
sometime around.
yeah. But now my boy Faye the Jeweler, he likes to say that I'm from Far Rock, and just like you, most of my life I've grown up in Far Rock.
Mm,
But I try not to primarily associate with it. I don't want like it's crazy because I have so many memories and shit
Mm.
there, but I don't associate it with like I feel like a
No,
Brooklynite. So
I feel that. I feel
I
that.
yeah,
I
I
definitely
don't
feel
really
that.
tune into that type of energy when he be chatting that shit. But
Honestly, for me, I'm from New York because
yeah,
I
that's what
grew up in
I take.
Brooklyn. Yeah, I'm from New York. I grew up in Brooklyn. At this point, I spent half my life on Long Island. But the part of Long Island I live in, I'm on the borderline of Long Island and Queens, so
Mhm.
I'm in Queens a lot. So I just like for me to just pinpoint one area and just say that's where I'm from. I feel like I'm frauding at that point. So I just tell people I'm from New York. Period.
Mm.
Like I spent a good amount of time in other areas of New York. I used to live in Buffalo, New York for a little bit. So right, right. Like I went to college out there, so that's why I was out there for a minute.
Fire,
But but I didn't graduate from there though. But still, like I spent a good amount of time in other areas of New York. So I'm from New York.
fire. Nah, definitely. I definitely embody the whole state. Even though I've never really lived upstate, but I embody the whole
Right.
state, the state and the city. Like this is where
Right,
I'm
right.
from. It don't matter where I
Exactly.
stay at. Um, But yeah, man, that's dope. You have a New York upbringing, and it shows in your music. The way you rap and everything. I think if anyone actually studies New York artists, they can easily point you out like in a group.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh
Like
yeah.
it could be everyone, like one person from each state or city or whatever. They would know you're from New York for sure. Like,
Right. Literally, yes. And it's so funny because a lot of times I try not to put myself in a box, but I feel like New York artists are so like distinctive that you can pinpoint them out anywhere. A good amount, like we just have this aura and this bop about us that you can
by
go anywhere
accident
else.
on purpose.
Yeah, exactly. Accident on purpose, absolutely.
But yeah, so let's talk about how you got into music. I don't want to throw out the age card, but how long have you been doing this?
So, if we're being honest, I've been rapping since I was in my mom's womb. But I know that's not scientifically correct. So, so, but I've been rapping for as long as I can remember. I think like the first song I ever wrote, I think I was like 10.
Wow.
And I lost the game of Connect Four, and I was devastated, and I felt like I gotta write about this because the fuck, how I lose this? How did I lose this? How did I get here? I had to put all my pain and suffering into this little 3-line song. I wish I still had that song. That song was like 3 lines.
Yeah,
But ever
I
since
only
then,
remember
you said
I
what?
only remember my first bar. I don't
I don't
remember the
remember. I
rest of the
just remember what it
song.
was about.
Yeah.
So, but that sparked an idea for me to continue because I've always been really engaged in literature and writing poems, short stories, things like that.
Right.
So when I got to the point where, or better yet, when I learned about what hip hop was and rapping, I was like, I could write all these words and they could rhyme, and
Mm-hmm.
this could be cool.
Fire.
What? And then I found out people getting paid for this. Oh hell no, I'm in this. This shit is lit.
So,
So
how
yeah.
many games of Connect Four did you lose for that to happen? Because I feel like that didn't just happen after one game. I feel like you lost like five in a row,
No,
and you was like, "Fuck it."
so be I lost one game, but I'll be honest. I'm gonna be vulnerable for a second. I lost the reason why this game was so important. I was talking mad shit. I was talking mad shit. You're not gonna beat me. I know how to play this game. Yo, when I tell you I got my ass handed to me in Connect Four, that game probably lasted over 45 seconds. Like that's how bad it
Yo,
was.
nah.
Like I was talking mad shit. I was like, yeah, no, I'm about to win, man. I'm the littest person. We wasn't even saying lit back then, but I'm the littest person in this damn after school program. Ain't nobody going. Yo, son, this young
Yo.
man put 3 little pieces down and was like, I'll win, and I was like, oh fuck this, I'm writing something now because he done got me fucked up, and that's how that happened.
Nah, that's fire. Is there anyone from those at school programs that know you now that like see you doing your music?
I'm sure a lot of them see me with social media. Everybody can find anybody.
Right.
There's only probably one person that I still speak with on a somewhat consistent basis. I'll say every couple months, maybe. That sees me doing my thing. It's funny because we actually reconnected through a mutual friend. We found each other on social media,
Hmm.
and it's funny 'cause he was like, "Yo, I remember being after school with you." And he was writing them songs the whole
Hmm.
time. I was writing songs. I was pissed. And he's like, "Y'all, it's cool to see you doing your thing, and you really out here grinding." When I appreciate that. So, yeah, there's people that have seen the journey from the very beginning up to now, and they're just like, "Yo, you really said you was going to do it, and you're doing it." So,
Facts.
yeah, it's a good feeling.
Nah, that's dope. That's a dope, interesting story. Once again, shout out to everybody tuning in. Rico was good, my boy. Again, if y'all got any questions, Shaggy was good, boy. Hit that question mark,
Yes,
man.
ask
This
me
is
some
if y'all want
questions.
to know anything, because a lot of y'all are artists and creatives. So if y'all want to know
Facts.
anything from Akila K, she's gonna have the
Absolutely.
answers. But that's up
Well,
to
I'm gonna
y'all.
try.
So I did a little bit of research on you. I didn't get to like dive into the whole discography, but I listened to a great amount. Um,
Yes.
the first thing I want to talk about is, well, I just actually finished watching it. I wanted to like rewatch a few
Hmm.
things. Hold on, let me pause this. I wanted to rewatch a few things, and
I
I
hold
saw
myself to sleep at night to
this
remind
shit right
myself
here,
nobody's.
Cold. Control, yeah. What really struck me out about the video was that you didn't have dreads in this.
No, I
So I
did.
mean,
I did. They weren't as long as they are now.
what in this control video?
Yeah.
Those are dreads. I ain't gonna lie. It looked like you had
Yeah.
like some kind of little twist going
It
on,
was
or were they like just
in a
fresh
little
type
nice
shit?
little
Like, you,
updo, but
got you,
they
got
weren't
you,
as
got
long as they are
got
now.
you, got you, got you. I mean, a lot of people that just met me literally met me with the dreads, like, but I had the braids before this,
Got
so
you.
that's why I was like, it caught me off
Okay.
guard. I was
Okay.
like, oh snap, like, oh. But actually, I did see a video with some cornrows. You had some cornrows. I didn't get to watch the video.
Okay.
That was actually going to be my next one that I was going to watch. Um, so that's pretty dope that you have like a interesting like a
Yes.
transformation. I think that's pretty cool because I've seen like a lot of artists like say for example Two Chains,
Mm.
Waka Flocka, who else? Who's the other guy I was just thinking of? Damn, I can't think. I'll get back to him. But Waka Flocka, and them, I kind of like seen them in other videos and stuff, and like you never really noticed them or nothing like that.
Right.
Like they
Yeah.
probably have been doing their own thing way before that, and then all of a sudden you got Two
Pop out
Chains,
somewhere. Right.
and then you got it's a party,
The
it's a
party. It's
party. Like
that's a
yeah,
fact.
so
That's a fact.
shit like that is just kind of dope to see that an artist goes through a transformative
Right.
stage and then they become like even bigger because it's like I guess people never paid attention to them in that light, and then it was like
Right.
something about them that kind of shines
Hmm.
in this light. So that also contributed to me like being interested in the video. It wasn't even more so like I'm doing research. It was like, what the hell you had braids
Like,
before?
what's
Oh
going
shit.
on here?
Yeah, let me listen to the braids verses. But you got some really dope pieces. Speaking of this control piece right here, I like that you were like very vulnerable with it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
you yeah, you was just like really truthful like in your moment. Like you didn't really hold back. And I think a lot of times people make music and they are scared to let people see them be vulnerable. I, for one, when I started making like personal songs, I was like, I'm not promoting this shit. Like, I released it. I never like held myself from releasing anything.
Nah,
But
you gotta let that out. Yeah, people gotta hear that.
oh no, I perform it now. I perform it. A lot
Okay.
of people actually rock with it, and this is what I'm getting at to the point. So have you ever performed that or any other vulnerable track?
That particular song, no. But on my album, when the album dropping, there's a song on there called "Belly of the Beast," which is very personal. Um,
Mhm.
I don't think it's as personal as "Control," but "Belly of the Beast" is still a personal record. Now that one I've performed live, and
Mhm.
a lot of people really fuck with that song. Like a lot of people, there's a video for that song too. Um, but a lot of people really fuck with that song, which is funny because I didn't think people would fuck with that song
Mhm.
as much as they do.
Mhm.
Um, I'm like full transparency. I wasn't a huge fan of it, and it's
Mhm.
not because I thought it was a bad song. I think it's a really good song, but I think because it's dark in the way that it is dark,
Mhm.
I didn't think people were going to gravitate towards it, and I
Mhm.
also didn't like being that dark basically. But I
Right.
will say it was a good thing that I did it because getting that off my chest was really good. Like there's something
Mhm.
very therapeutic about writing vulnerable records that as any writer will tell you, you it's like a weight lifted off your chest, right? And you
Hmm.
have to get that out. People have to hear that, and not only and it's not just for yourself; it's for other people too. Because I've also had other people tell me, like, "Yo, that track is hard." Like, "Yo, I be depressed too." Like, yeah, we be depressed sometimes, and it's nothing to
Fact.
be ashamed about. And I think the more times, the more we acknowledge it, the easier
Hmm.
it is to talk about it and then spread enlightenment on depression
Yep.
and how important it is with mental health and things like that.
Yep.
On my EP, there's another song called Dear Killer. There's a video for that
Mhm.
one too. And that one was extremely personal as well because that was it was a letter to myself. And at the time that I wrote
Mm.
it, I was going through a lot, like a lot. And I actually had somebody tell me, they heard the song and they started crying because
Mm.
they felt it. They felt everything I was coming from. So stuff like that. You have songs like people have songs that or poems or whatever medium of art that you do. You probably have works that you're not too happy about or too comfortable with letting the world hear. But
Mhm.
it's just a stuff like that is a constant reminder for me anyway that sometimes it's not just about you. Like you don't know how bad somebody else needs to hear this.
That's a huge fact.
Yeah.
I like that you said that. Shout out to Madam C. She's a dope
So shout out
photographer.
to her. We love photography.
Um, yeah, that's actually pretty dope. And you mentioned you started writing since you were 10, and it all started over Connect Four. You basically were a sore loser,
Yeah, absolutely.
so you had to get it out.
Absolutely.
But do you think that's what defines your style of music? Like, do you think like you were made to like speak out on shit? Because all of your music, you're literally speaking out on shit, even if it's like vulnerable or not. Like you're speaking out on shit. So do you feel like that's like what started it, or do you have like a origin story for like your inspiration?
Uh, I will say I think that started because I'm an Aquarius, so a lot
Mhm.
Aquarius have this stigma that we don't have any feelings, like we don't care.
Mhm.
We're too nonchalant,
Same with
and although that is true,
Virgos.
you said what?
Same with
Yeah,
Virgos.
exactly. Air sign. Well, no, is it Virgo or air sign? I don't know if Virgo's an air sign, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Yeah, so and although that is true, what people don't know about Aquarius is that we're very emotional people. We just don't show it. So that's
Mm.
why it comes off as, oh, you don't give a fuck. No, I do. I definitely do. I'm about to go in the bathroom and cry right now, but you not gonna know that.
But I feel that. I feel that.
Right. So because of that, I I'm in addition to that, I'm also sensitive because I'm an artist. So if there's anything going on in my life, whether it's good, it's happy, it's bad, or yo, shout out to Janae, that's my sis for real. She just texted me Virgos are what you
Fire.
say?
Shout out to you.
My bad. The earth signs, my fault, y'all. but but yeah, so because I'm sensitive, like just like Erica Badu said, I'm sensitive about my shit. I write about whatever is going on in life at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Whether it's something happy, something sad, something devastating, even if it's like something going on in the world that I'm just not comfortable with, uh, I'm gonna write about it. And before I started rapping, I was really a spoken word artist, I was a poet. So
Mm.
there were times where, like, depending on the situation, sometimes it's a poem, sometimes it's a song. Lately, it's been songs. I'm not gonna hold you, but like even with the Control video, that poem I had wrote that poem way before I wrote the song Control. But when I wrote the song Control, the poem matched so perfectly with it. That's why the video is both of them, and on my album they're one after the other because they
Mm.
went right into each other. But those both of those songs, that song and that poem, were very real situations that I had gone through, and
Mm.
I didn't know how to deal with it. So whenever I don't know how to deal with
Mm.
something, the best thing to do is write about it and figure it out from there. At least for me, anyway. Write about it, figure it out from there, and it's got me pretty far in life. I will say that.
Nah, that's dope. I wholeheartedly felt that, and I think that's important, 100%. And it's kind of like a segue into my next question, which I'm pretty sure you probably already answered it. But I was gonna say, what do you think sets you apart from other FemCs?
Cause I'm honest. Like I don't know how else to put that. Like I'm honest. Like I feel like in this day and age, with a lot of female rappers, everybody wants to be a thug. And don't get me wrong, like anyone who knows me knows like I go to work and I'm like, yo, I'm a thug out here in these streets. You're not gonna talk to
Hmm.
me like that. Like I really be like
Right.
that at work, and I'll switch over quick. Hi, how are you? My name is Kamara. Nice to meet you. I'll do that 24/7. But female rappers today are so I feel like we're so consumed with being independent and being
Hmm.
tough and protecting our feelings. Don't get me wrong, all those things are important.
Yeah.
They're absolutely important, but like we're also human beings. We're allowed to feel. Like I don't hear too many female rappers talking about how much they love their man. Like what? Y'all not in love no more? Like, we don't
Real
love
shit.
black men no more. Men in general, everything is just like get money and fuck these niggas and spend it, run his like. Don't get me wrong. Like, I would love to be showered and pampered and whatnot, and not to say that I'm not, but we can't always want to be going in people's pockets like that. So I feel like what sets me apart from everybody else, like I'm being realistic. Like I don't have somebody throwing buying me a Birkin bag. I would love that. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I don't have somebody buying me a Birkin bag. I have somebody buying me a Tory Burch bag, and I'm
Ah, I heard
and I'm
you.
very grateful for that. Like you feel me? I have a job that I go to that I'm gonna get
Right.
up and go to tomorrow. I don't have 100 bands in the bank. I'm planning on it. I'm working on it. I'm not driving a Rolls Royce, girl. Like I drive a Nissan, like, but it's. I'm being realistic. And even if I wasn't doing all of these things, I would still be realistic in the realm of the lifestyle that I would have whenever that happens or wherever that happens. But
Mm.
um, for me, it's being present in the life that I live now and speaking on what I know now. And
Mm.
other females, again, I'm not knocking nobody because I'd be a liar if I said I don't have a plethora of female rappers
Right.
in my phone that I listen to on a daily basis. I'm not knocking none of them at all. But a lot of times I feel like, and even with male rappers too, like everybody wants to be a boss and whatnot. It's like, yo, we don't
Yeah.
live like that. Not all of us live like that. Where
Yeah.
I need to listen to the female rapper that's tired of these men wasting her time. Where is she at? Because that's how I feel sometimes. Like I need to listen to the
Real
female
shit.
rapper that is in love with her man. Where is she at? Because that's how I want to be too. It's like you feel
Real
me? Like
shit.
I want to hear the female rapper that's tired of her damn job and she want to quit, but she can't because her rent due tomorrow. Like, because that's where I'm at right now. Like, I want to
Yo, I
listen to
feel
that
that.
rapper, and since I can't find that
Yeah,
rapper, I'm gonna be that rapper.
I feel that. I feel
Yeah.
that. Um, I've discovered some ladies along the way. I've always been like the explorer of music, so to speak. So, a lot of people who got into music kind of like went straight back to the roots and was like looking at everybody. Shout out to Enigma.
Yep.
Um,
E's for
Also,
everything.
Miss Moose
Call them out now.
asked a question slash commented. I'm gonna get to that in a
Okay.
second. But people originally like start looking back at the origins, like where did it come from? For me, granted, growing up in the era, I kind of missed out on a lot of it. Like, actually, I just saw the 2006 MTV episode of Nas and Jay Z finally sitting in a room. Like, I think it was
Yeah.
what 10 years after the whole Ether shit. And I
Yeah.
was like, yo, where
This was
was
like
I? Like,
this was early. I remember that because I actually tuned into that. My young ass
see,
tuned in
I
to watch that.
missed that. I
But
wasn't in tune. But I found actually how I got into music like 100%. I found
Mhm.
me and my sister was going to school one day, and it was like raining crazy outside, and I found like a little USB drive, like a digital USB drive, like it had buttons on it and all of
Right.
that, but it was actually an MP3 player slash USB.
Okay.
So when I figured out how to work this shit, I ended up figuring out that there was music on there. There was Ti, T Pain, Kanye, early Kanye.
Mm.
Um, there was some Ashanti on there, some Keisha Cole. There was like some really, like the
Right.
early 2000 kind of artists. And that's where it started for me. I was just kind of like, okay, this is what's going on
Mm.
now. Let me dive further into this. And I started like discovering underground artists.
Right.
Well, it mostly started on Facebook, like, because I was like very reluctant to create social media.
Mm.
I think it was like 9 years after Facebook was like really popping. I finally made an account. But I started discovering like a lot of underground artists, and
Mm.
that's where it dove in for me. Like, so the same way you said you was looking for these ladies, I was too. It's not just like
Yeah.
just the women in general, but I got tired of hearing about, it was cool listening to 50, but like why every song you want to kill somebody? Like,
Right. Like
what I'm saying? It
I
was
can't do
cool.
that.
Yeah,
I
Lil
can't
Kim
do
is cool,
that.
but I don't want to hear you popping your pussy on every song. Like,
Right. Like,
you know,
don't get me. That's
so
great. That's great. But my mom be listening to my music. I can't do that. I'm gonna get my
yeah,
heart
nah,
set.
my
I can't do
mom,
that.
she wasn't super strict, but she made sure that we didn't listen to anything crazy in the house. So it was mostly
Right.
like R. Kelly, Michael Jackson. We listened to like a lot of Usher, Marvin Gaye, Mary J. Blige, stuff like that.
Right.
But we got into a lot of like, you know, the slow jams and the quieter, more peaceful, so to speak. I guess until you pay attention to the lyrics, but they were more
Right.
like peaceful on the ears.
Right. Right.
Um, but yes, so Miss Moose, she says your flow is different. Is that true? It took you 20 years to curse?
Like who said that?
Miss Moose
That's
007.
hilarious. Yo, shout out to my sister.
She
Yo,
said
shout out to Janae.
that it took you 20 years to
So
curse.
it wasn't 20 years per se. It was like 19. No, I'm kidding. But it did take a while because part of the reason why I didn't like cursing in my music for a minute, and
Mhm.
like I'm talking into like my early 20s for real,
Mm.
was one, I knew my mom was listening, and I feel like having that conversation. And two, I had this rule about me: as long as I was under my mom's roof, like living with her, I need to be respectful because for one, I'm recording it in her house, so
Mhm.
there's that, and two, like if I'm still living in her house, I'm not grown, at least not to my standard of being grown. So I shouldn't
Interesting.
be I shouldn't be talking as if I was. But the minute I moved out,
Mm. You were talking your shit.
ew, fuck this shit and and suck my dick. You know what I mean?
Yo, nah.
And all this other stuff. But I cherish and I'm appreciative of all those years that I
Mm.
didn't curse my music because it taught me to be creative with my words and my rhyme schemes.
Yeah.
Because again, going back to artists today, I feel like if I have to listen to your song, if I listen to your song on the radio and I can't hear half the song, we got to fix this.
I
We
used to
have to
hate
fix
that
this.
shit.
Like,
I used to hate
bro,
that.
there was an episode of the Proud Family, and
Mm.
man, I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what the episode was, but what was the rapper that Penny Park used to like? I think it was Sir Mix-a-Lot or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there was an episode, and Oscar, the father, was listening to Sir Mix-a-Lot's new song, and all you heard was beat the beat the beat the beat. And he was like, "Oh, this fire," and I'm like, "No, it's not. I don't know what you're
Right.
saying because every other word is blocked out." So, like, I give mad respect to artists that
Mm.
can do some fire ass verses and not drop a curse. Like, there's a really dope female rapper from Brooklyn, Young Devin. She's fire.
Mm.
She
Okay.
don't curse at
I've,
all.
I've heard I've
You've
heard
heard,
of her a
yeah.
few times.
She don't curse at all, and she's
That's
fire.
fine. That's
And so
fine.
it's doable. But like I said, like those all those years of me not cursing definitely did help for as I got older. Because there are several
Mm.
songs on my album that have no curses at all,
Mm-hmm.
and but of course, because majority of the songs do have curses, the whole thing is explicit. But
Right.
there are songs that have no curses at all. When I do certain freestyles, I don't put. There's some that have curses. There's some that don't because I had that time to really figure out how can I make this as interesting as possible without
Mm-hmm.
having to drop an F bomb in it,
Right.
without having to say anything that I can't say on national television. So
I feel that.
yeah,
Respectable. Um, I agree with you on that. But at a point in time in my life, because I started off the same exact way. I wasn't cursing at any of my music when I first started making it.
hmm
And still to this day, I make a lot of music without curses in it.
right,
I probably can't name any right now, but nah, even on the album, there's like about 5 songs where I haven't even said a curse at all.
right.
Like it's just straight. And I agree with you on the whole. If you can write a rap without cursing, you already
You
won like three
already
fourths of the
won.
battle.
Right,
Yeah,
you
you
already
already won three
won.
fourths of the battle. Um, so kudos to you on that.
Appreciate
And
it.
but
Thank
I
you.
had to draw the line at a point where it's like when you do curse in the music, it has to be expressive. You
Yeah,
you know, like
you can't censor
again,
yourself.
suck my dick is not exactly expressive,
Right.
but I get it, when people say it in the music. But for the most part, like when you just say bitch or fuck this or whatever,
It
I,
has to
I
mean
learned to
something.
like kind of like yeah, I kind of learned to like make it as an emotional and
Right.
impactful word so that way when
Right.
you hear it the way that I used it, you're gonna be like,
I felt
oh, okay, I
that.
get it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
So yeah, nah, definitely. definitely there's a balance to it for sure. As long as you're not like getting too ahead of yourself and like
Right.
just straight out, going crazy with it.
Exactly.
So kudos to you again, man. You really you started off on a right path, and I think you should definitely continue to follow that. Shout out to DJ Thematics.
Oh,
That's my
snap.
guy.
DJ Thematics in the building.
Salty
Word.
Girl 11709. Yo, Thematics, I got to get you on here too, bro. Stop playing. Um, but yo, if y'all got any questions, bottom right, question mark chat bubble, y'all can ask Akila anything. She will
Yes,
answer it.
absolutely.
Um,
I like to chat sometime around.
no doubt. But to the rest of Miss Moose question was, she said, when's the next mixtape? She looking for
She
that.
is. She's
She
looking
want
for it. Everybody is.
that mixtape
So it, I got something dropping next month. I got something
next month.
next month. Next month.
Okay,
I got so
okay,
every year I drop a song. I drop something on my birthday. My birthday is February 18th. So
okay.
every year is and this year is a big birthday for me. I'm not gonna say what age it is, but it's an important birthday this year.
It's a
So
milestone.
it's a milestone birthday. I'll put it that way. So this year I didn't just want to drop a song. I want to drop something of substance, but I'm not gonna release everything yet. So just know something is coming next month. To answer the question, something is coming next month. Yes.
Fire, fire, fire. Russian Rebel, I ain't gonna lie, you're gonna have to kind of expand on that a little bit because she got a couple projects out. But she asked, "What's your favorite song on the album?" I'm assuming she's talking about "Hear Me Out," which we're gonna get into in a second.
Okay, I'm gonna assume she's talking about "Hear Me Out" too. So if referring to "Hear Me Out," it has to be Flatbush Ave. It has to be Flatbush Ave. And the
Okay.
reason being with Flatbush Ave is because to me, the song screams Brooklyn. Like when I heard them beat, so Don Dean, shout out to Don Dean, he produced it. And when I heard it, like I said, that one screamed Brooklyn, and rightfully so because he's from Brooklyn. He's from
Mm,
Flatbush actually, so that's why the beat is titled Flatbush Ave. And I
mm,
heard it, and I was like, this it screams Brooklyn to me. And one thing about me, when a beat, and if I get a beat, if the beat already has a title, I write the song
mhm.
around the title. I don't change it because I feel like you named it that for a
Yep.
reason. So who am I to change that? There are times where I will change a title of the beat to whatever song, wherever it takes me. But I would say 95% of the time I don't change the title. So it was
Mm,
already called Flatbush Ave. So because of the way it took me back to Brooklyn,
mhm.
and because I spent a good amount of time on Flatbush Ave, I wanted to pay homage to my hometown, and I wanted to pay homage to an avenue that I spent a good amount of time on. Like, uh,
Fire.
yeah, like I had my eye doctor was on Flatbush Ave. Anyone, you're from Brooklyn, so I'm sure you're familiar with
Mm,
the cookies department
mm.
store. Like I got every uniform. Like anybody that's from Brooklyn
The
that
white
went to
one,
school, public
the
school in
yellow
Brooklyn,
one, the
right?
plaid
Every
one, all
uniform
of,
I
and you
had
had
for
all the
every
shoes.
school I went to was from Cookies. Like Cookies has been dressing the children of Brooklyn since I don't know 19 whatever. Like me and my mom used to run a bag and Cookies. But I had my godmother used to live off of Flatbush Avenue. My
Mm,
grandmother lived off of Flatbush Avenue. I used to,
mm.
before I longer my hair, I used to get my hair braided a lot. I used to get my hair braided on Flatbush Avenue. Ali's
Fire.
Roti Shop. I'm Trini, so there's some good ass Caribbean food on Flatbush Avenue. Like I
Yeah, for
spent a
sure.
lot of time on Flatbush Avenue. And I feel like, to me anyway, there isn't a song really like dedicated and highlighting the culture that is on Flatbush Avenue. Because if you go
Mm.
from the top of Flatbush Avenue all the way down to Barclays Center, it's nothing but culture. It's
Yeah,
nothing but vibes. It's nothing but
facts.
history down down that
100%.
avenue. Even when you pass Grand Army Plaza and you start to get to downtown Brooklyn, there's
Hmm.
nothing but history down there. So like
Facts.
I just felt like the city needed it. I have big plans for Flatbush Avenue. Like, just don't think that Flatbush Avenue is going to stay on that EP. I have huge plans for Flatbush Avenue.
Right.
And plus, it's everyone's favorite, but it's definitely my favorite off of the project.
Dope, dope. Um, Damn, I actually wanted, I wasn't going to ask this question, but
Mhm.
I was going to get into, I guess, the sub part of the question. But
Okay.
DJ Thematics wants to know what was your favorite performance that you've done?
Ooh, that's a good question. My favorite performance that I've done thus far, because way more happening soon, uh, was Fox Sail Fest back in May of 2022. So If you're not familiar with Foxtail Fest, it's a festival that originally started in, it was either Delaware or Pennsylvania. I think it was Pennsylvania, Philly to be exact. It started there, and then they
Mm-hmm.
brought it to New York back in 2022. That was the first time it was in New York.
Mm,
And the previous festivals for Foxtail Fest was like they've had Machine Gun Kelly, they've had Lil Uzi Vert, they've had a decent amount of, they had a really cool roster. So
mm,
when it came to New York and came to Brooklyn that year, Lola Brooke headlined, Young Devin headlined, Girl Code was there. And the thing I liked about it the most, they had a lot of female artists, and I love that. I
mm-hmm.
absolutely loved this. So, I ended up getting the slot because they had a competition, and it was me and like four or five other artists, and
Mm-hmm.
you had to vote for who you wanted to perform. So I won, and shout out to everyone I voted. 'Cause I think like I was promoting that every day for like a month straight. Yo, vote for me, vote for me. Here's my songs. And I won. So the fact that I won the competition to perform, so
Mm,
like I earned that, and then being able to open up for Lola Brooke and Young Devin, like I'm doing the soundtrack and Lola is right there. And this is when
fire.
Don't Play With Me was really like that's when it really started heating up. Don't play with it.
Mm,
Um, so I'm looking at Lola's an distance. Young Devin is an arm distance. I had a whole green room and it was right next to Lola Brooke. Like I ain't gonna lie, I felt like a celebrity. It was really cool. And then when I actually did the performance, it was early. And they do the openers. The openers go on in the
yeah,
early
yeah,
in the day
yeah.
and whatnot. But it was still more people than I anticipated it being. So it was like I love performing. Like if you couldn't tell already, I love performing. But that performance really made me. So it solidified that I can really do this. So that's definitely top number one performances that I've enjoyed.
Fire. Shout out to Amazing again. She's actually a dope artist as well. I
Oh,
met
shout
her
out
at
to
Gay
you.
Summit last year, and she's actually on the album. When I say she got a fire fucking verse, she's
Oh
fire. So
yes,
y'all should tap
yes,
in. She's
yes,
fire.
yes. I
Um,
remember her verse.
she's from the West Coast, I believe. I know now she's in Phoenix, but I think she said she's from St. Louis. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Amazing, but I believe she's from St. Louis but stays in
Oh
Phoenix.
yeah,
So
we gotta
tap in
tap
with
in.
her. She's really dope. Um, but yes, that festival I definitely did. That's what I wanted to speak on for sure. So I watched the whole 25-minute episode.
Oh yeah,
What is it?
that was a long
25
ass
minutes
episode.
and 4 seconds. I
Yeah, it was a
watched
long
it.
ass episode.
But no, it was. I watch a lot of stuff like that. Trust me, I go down rabbit holes every fucking day. Like I'm
Mm,
always going through a whole bunch of shit, like just watching it. Um, but everything you just said, I was watching. Like what really drew me in was the fact that it was like 100% professional. Like
yeah,
you had a team following you around with the makeup. They were checking you out with like the
yeah.
outfits. You had
It
a
was. It was.
camera crew recording
I
you
felt
behind the
really
scenes.
professional.
You was
Yes, it was a good
you
time. It
was
was a
on
good time.
stage. Yeah, you had your own DJ. It was that was really a vibe. I enjoyed
Thank
watching that.
you.
And what was it? Was it a 2 day thing? Because I saw you like performed and then it kind of cut out and then you went to like a whole nother set where you performed again. So
So no, it was a 1 day. It was a 1 day event, but there was a sound check. So
ah,
part of the
got you,
video was me there for sound check, and the other part was the actual performance. So
got you,
yeah, but
got
it was
you.
it was definitely a 1 day. Well, was it a 1 day? Oh, it was a 1 day thing. Yeah, at least my portion of it was.
You got you like top hats? What they
Top
call
hat.
fedoras? Well, no, that's not a fedora, but it's
No, it's
the little
I
bucket
actually
joint.
forgot what type of hat it is, but so I'm not
Sundress hat. That's what it's called. I think. I
okay.
think it's called
Okay,
the sun hat. Yeah, some shit like
whatever
that.
it's
But I've
called.
seen you with that on in a couple of your situations, and I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa, that like that's like your highlight or something.
So it's really not, but I have the hat and I like to get creative with what I have. And that's a piece that I prior to me getting the hat, I never really wore big hats like that.
Hmm.
So me just learning my style and learning the looks that I'm going for, I always find a way to repurpose it and fit it in somewhere. And plus I think it really exemplifies the type of artist and the type of person that I am. Like it's in your face, like you can't miss it,
Hmm.
but it complements what's going on. Yeah,
Yeah, it did.
yeah.
It
Thank you,
did.
thank
And I could
you.
tell there was a lot of people in the crowd. Like even though they wasn't, if they wasn't paying attention, I'm pretty sure they were like, "Yo, that's a nice hat." Like,
Right?
but nah,
Shout
yeah,
exactly.
definitely. I think you should do that more often. That's pretty
Thank
interesting.
you.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, it complements everything that you got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. This is probably the only episode where I got the most questions from everybody. So shout out to y'all, man. Again, if y'all
Shout
just
out to
tuning
y'all.
in, if y'all just tuning in, bottom right question mark in the chat bubble, y'all can ask any
Yes,
question.
ask me something.
So
Chatting.
CJ Saint wants to know, who are you looking forward to working with in 2024?
Mad people. Everybody. Let me see. Let me see. I mean, there's a list I could like. Are we talking well in
Let me
general?
get
Okay.
five
Well,
people off
five
the top of your head. Let me get five people.
five people off the top of my head. That's attainable. Okay. Well, I'm definitely gonna put MC Reef up there. This is in no particular order. Definitely gonna put MC Reef up there. um, who else? I would love to work again with Nick Moody, fire ass rapper
Mhm.
from Long Island. Um, I just tapped into Jay Sos. I hope I'm saying it right. I think it's Jay Sos. He's fire. Um, I ain't gonna lie. I want to hop on a song with Janique. Cause I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Mhm. Okay,
Uh, Someone said because she's the Max because she's low key famous. That's why. Am I? Am
low
I? I
key,
mean,
low key,
shoot, I'll take
and, and I'm
it.
gonna tell you why too. But go ahead. You got two more.
Yeah. So, who else? Who else? Who else? Um, like there's so many people. I'm trying to fit it into five people. Um, this is a given, but I'm gonna say Enigma again. We've done a lot, and it's definitely a given. But I'm gonna put him in there as well. And man, this is my dream for this year. My dream for this year, I'm gonna say Young Devin because
Put it in the
that's yeah,
universe. It's gonna
yeah. I'm putting it
happen.
in the universe, Young Devin. Yeah, yeah. And again, there's way more than that, but just five for right now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Five is cool. I like that. That's pretty dope. Uh, so to get back to thematics, yes, you are low key famous. I say that because two instances. So last night I was talking to a friend, and
Mhm.
we were having a conversation about uh, I was talking about Bandcamp or whatever, and then I had no, sorry. It went from Bandcamp to talking about the interviews because she asked me, could she be on the episode? So she'll be, I believe, next week Wednesday. I got her.
Okay.
Sarai Wildheart. But
Okay.
yeah, she was hyped to hear your name. She's like, yeah, I know her. Like, so I was like, yeah, that's fire. Also, you even told me this already when we had the conversation about even that you and Shorty from customer service is on a first name
That's
basis. Yo, so she called me. She called me this morning to like discuss. You know how it goes with the even when you release, they
right,
want to
right,
talk to you
right,
about it.
right.
We were speaking this morning, and I didn't say no names. I said, yo, I spoke to someone, and I asked, how's the platform, and they gave me a thorough breakdown. And
Mhm.
she was like, was it a killer? I was like,
Oh
yo,
wow,
no
for real?
fucking
Oh
way.
shit.
Like right off the back, she just said it, and I was like, yo, what? Like,
Oh,
but it was just
that's
funny.
crazy.
Yeah, nah,
Yeah,
Miriam, yeah. So she just brought
yo,
you up
shout out
out
to
the
Mary.
blue, and I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Like, how the hell she know
That's
exactly who I was talking about? And I didn't even give her no hints or nothing. I
right.
just said somebody. Like,
Really?
but nah, that's pretty interesting. So you are low key famous. People know you.
Okay. Oh, shout out to the people. I be trying. I be trying.
So we got two good questions, three good questions. Let me get this one. Katie wants to know, Katie, you better be in New York. Stop playing. She wants to know, are you gigging in New York? You got any stuff coming up in New York?
I have some stuff in the works. I can't really. You gotta wait for the paper to dry, the DM to be sent and whatnot. But there's some stuff going on behind the scenes, so I will have something coming up in New York very very soon.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as that happens, of course, I will let the world know. So if you're not following me already, follow me on Instagram and tap into my website, my newsletters. If you go on my website, akilakmusic.com/stay updated. Sign in there, join the newsletter. So that's where you get all the updates, or even join the broadcast channel that I have on my Instagram page, because that's where I send out my updates on yo I'm performing here and things like that. But
Mm-hmm.
I will definitely have some stuff in New York. So yes, Katie, make sure you are in New York because I'm gonna be outside this year.
Sorry. Hold on? Did I say that wrong? Because I know it's spelled a little different. So I don't know if it was Kate or Katie, but it has an E at the ending. Oh no, sorry, I'm lying. Her last name got an E at the ending. It is Katie. Okay.
Okay.
Thematics wants to know, is there a genre of music? By the way, he's a fire DJ. If
No,
you if you haven't
I know
performed that much
thematics.
in
I
New
know
York,
it's
oh,
been
I
a
was about to
minute.
say,
It's
yeah,
been a
he's at
minute,
a lot
but I
of
know.
events, so he's in touch with a lot of people for sure. But he wants to know, is there a genre of music besides hip hop that you would want to experiment with? That's an interesting question.
Yes, and I kind of already have, but I want to do it on a deeper scale. So for those that don't know, I'm Trini. My mom's side of the family is Trinidadian, born and raised. And I grew up playing the steel pan. So
Hmm.
I really, really, yeah, y'all gonna hear it. No,
Interesting.
with future stuff coming out, you're definitely gonna hear the steel pan. 'Cause I used to do it a lot in my music, and I took a break from it for a little bit. But I really, really, really want to tap into more Caribbean themed music, so soca, dancehall, and things like that. I had a soca song on my album when the album dropping, but like I said,
Mhm.
I want to do it more often because what people may not know, I listen to soca a lot, like a lot, to the
I
point
pictured in your
where
stories when you do
yes,
your car rides and
my
stuff.
car
Yeah.
karaoke. Anyone who follows me on Instagram know my car karaoke every morning. Because it's always carnival in my car. And it's funny because I listen to soca so much. Like I'm very tapped into my West Indian culture. Like my mom's
Mhm.
side of the family, some of them be forgetting that I was born here. Some of them really think I was born in Trinidad, and I'm like, no, I'm definitely an American citizen, unfortunately.
Mhm.
But because of that, like I'm really tapped into my West Indian culture, and I would love for people to hear that in the music because anyone who knows me personally, again, it's always carnival in my car. I actually have a steel pan that I play in the crib, so I really want to do that
Mhm.
within my music. And my logo has a steel pan in it. So like,
Oh, word.
yeah, if you look at my logo, there's a
Right.
steel pan at the end of a K.
That's
So
fire.
that's definitely what I would love to tap into
I'm
more
not
consistently.
gonna lie. I thought it was a turtle shell. Don't hate me. I thought it was a turtle shell. I was like, yo, what's the symbolism? Because I like to watch stuff and I like to interpret like art and all of that.
Right.
So yeah, I was definitely looking at it like, yo, what is that?
What
Like,
is that? No, it's a steel pan.
nah, that's dope. That's interesting. I like treble clefs. So this is my logo, Team Reef.
Yeah,
So,
I peeped
but
that,
also my name starts with an S. So it
which
kind of
makes
like
sense.
it
Which makes
resonates
sense.
with everything. So
Right.
yeah.
So fun fact,
What in
I have like five treble clefs tattooed on me. I think it's five. It might be three.
I might get another one. I ain't gonna hold you somewhere, but it's gonna incorporate in some
Right.
other way. Actually, if you even look at the album cover, I have a treble clef as
Yeah.
the it's
I
like the
peeped.
Keyblade from Kingdom Hearts,
Oh, I
but I made it into a treble. Yeah, yeah. So that was
oh
a Kingdom Hearts ode, but I turned it into a treble clef.
okay, that's I gotta look at it again.
Word. So my question that I wanted to ask, I ain't gonna lie, I love y'all for asking these questions. Keep asking them. What up,
Yes.
Cuzzo? One of my favorite Cuzzos popped in. My other one is in here
You're
too. I got two of my favorite Cuzzos in the live. What up, y'all? Um, but the question I wanted to ask is, what inspired you to go independent? I've never actually heard you speak anything about like signing to a label. I've
hmm
never really heard you talk anything about like wanting to go mainstream.
okay.
And then watching how you go about presenting yourself as an artist, it just made me want to like tap in even more.
Okay.
So yeah, what inspired you to
Well,
do that?
I feel like we're in the DIY era of
Hmm.
everything. Like whether you're an artist, or whether you're I don't know, photographer, an architecture, if you're trying to learn how to cook, like we're in the DIY era of doing it of doing anything you want to do, you can literally do it yourself. If you got a phone or a computer, you have access to YouTube University is free. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Fire. Yep.
right, exactly. So with that, I just feel like that, and there's so many, there's all the stigma about signing a major label to a major label and record deals going haywire and you can't trust people and things like that. And I think that major deals and record labels have a place. I think for some people that might be a better option, but for me personally, because we're in the era of do it yourself, anything a label can do for me, I can technically do on my own. A label would make it
100%.
easier. A label would absolutely make it easier. And of course, the label will provide capital to do things that I want to do on the scale that I want to do them. But the reality is, I can do all of this myself if I really wanted to. I don't
Right.
need a label or a production company or whatever the case may be. It can all be done on my own. And not to
Mm.
say that it's just me, because I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't have other people that I work with. Um,
Mm.
so I do think that you need a team,
Mhm.
but the help of a label or production company and things like that, you can do it yourself. You don't need these people, and
Right.
and that's just how I feel. And then I will, like, full transparency, I was with a production company a year ago,
Mhm.
and it ended up not being something that I was comfortable with and something that I wanted to continue to be a part of,
Hmm.
especially as an artist. Because like I said before, I'm sensitive about my stuff,
Right.
and I'm the type of artist that if the vibe is not right, I don't want to do it. Like I am that artist, and the vibe
I
has to
feel
be
that.
right. And but in addition to the vibe being right, the business got to be right. And a lot of times with a lot of these production companies and labels and whatnot, everybody want
Hmm.
the title, but not everybody wants to put in the work.
Thank
And
you.
if my name and if my name is going on it, if I'm putting like as a songwriter, and I feel like any rapper, artist, songwriter will agree with me. You literally have to create something out of nothing. Literally,
Hmm.
you have to take words from this language and sometimes from even another a whole nother language and put it together and make it something that people are going to fuck with.
Yep.
And that is a whole lot harder than people give us artists credit for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if
For
I'm
sure.
doing that, if I'm doing that and all you care about is when the next yeah, someone says everyone want the title, but not anybody want to put in the work.
Shout out
Exactly.
to
Uh
VH drummer. Yo, he's a fire drummer, by the way.
oh, we gotta
Fire.
tap in because I need that.
Yeah, tap in with the dude. He's fucking fire.
Right. But when I'm doing all that and you have a group of people that are just capitalizing off of that, and again, you not putting in the work, the same amount of work that I'm putting in, but you want to reap the benefits of everything. I'm not okay with that. Like for all I can do, I can do this myself. I don't
Mm-hmm.
need you. And that was part of the situation I was having with that company. Hence why we eventually parted ways because I just felt like the direction I wanted to go and the direction that they were going were two different directions. And I'm not knocking nobody for how they want to do what they do and
Right.
how they see it work. It's just not for me. And I'm not
Understood.
gonna stay here and continue to do it if I know it's not for me. So be happy, be good, do your thing, but I can do all of this myself. I'm gonna do that.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate on that one.
Mhm.
Are you against being challenged outside of your realms?
No, I'm not. You said being challenged?
Yeah,
No.
because I get that it's one thing to do something that's not exactly your vibe, but what if, maybe you were looking at that wrong? What if they were actually trying to see if you were, gonna
Right.
like
And you
develop into something
and you
different? Like,
you're absolutely right. So I'm definitely not against being challenged outside of my realm. My whole thing is, and not even speaking on that situation, just in general, if
hmm
I'm consistently being challenged and I'm knocking it out the park every single time,
mm,
and I'm still knocking it out the park every single time, and you have the title, but nothing is happening while I'm knocking it out the park every single time,
hmm
at this point I'm not being challenged. I'm being used.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Now that's actually a fair point you got right there. And
Right.
shout out to Enigma. You do got to make a detour
Like make
sometimes.
a
So.
detour available now
Uh,
on everywhere.
Definitely kudos to you for realizing that that wasn't the end of your journey. Like you still had
Right.
a place to go. So and a lot of us don't even recognize that. Like we stay stuck in situations because it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, this is all I know, or or they just completely give up and don't ever do nothing else. So
That
you
can't be
knew,
me. That
yeah.
can't be me.
Trust me, trust me, trust me. There's a whole list of people that is that, but what was the other question I was going to ask you? So in part of being independent, what pushed you to say, you know what? I mean, because you still are on streaming platforms, but what pushed you to say, you know what? I'm going to put that in the back burner and decide to
Mm-hmm.
like sell my music. I'm going to put this merch out. I'm going to make sure that I'm branding
Mm-hmm.
myself as an independent artist.
Because we as an artist we're still a brand, we're still a
Yeah.
business. Like anybody who raps or does anything creative, you are an artist, but you are also a brand. You're a business. Like people are going
hmm
to use your, if you get to a certain point, people are going to use your likeness to for something else. So
hmm
you like Jay-Z said it best, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Right.
And I think the earlier us as creatives realize that, the better off we'll be. And I will say shout out to Enigma because he was probably one of the first artists that I like, in my opinion, I was that I could actually reach and
Mm-hmm.
talk to that has it down to a science. Like, dude had the website. Don't get me wrong, I had a website too, but he had the website, he had the merch, discount codes on and I'm like, yo, that's dope. Like, I want to do that too. That was a whole new realm of being an artist or entrepreneur at that point that I hadn't even tapped into. I didn't even think that. me myself that I could do. I didn't think I had the wherewithal or even the popularity to sell a t-shirt, to, you know, sell merch or sell the music at that point. So definitely shout out to him because he definitely put me onto that. Taught me a lot of stuff about how to do that on the back end with the website and everything. But as far as selling the music, and it's funny because I had this conversation with Enigma, and artists are always the last to get paid. Like when you think about it, you as an artist, you as a rapper, you want to make a song, and I'm not even gonna say an album. You're just making a song.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make a song. You have to buy the beat, so the producer's getting paid, right? Now you have to record it, right? And let's say you're not fortunate enough to have a whole setup in the crib. Now you have to go pay the studio. So now the studio's getting paid. You still have to pay the engineer because sometimes the studio don't come with the engineer. So you gotta pay the engineer too. So now the engineer's gotta get paid. So, but the song, it needs a cover art. It gotta look nice. It gotta be professional. So the graphic designer's getting paid. And how you gonna put it out on streaming services? So now DistroKid getting paid. Everybody is getting paid before you. You're
Yep.
mind you, you're the artist. You're the artist.
Yep. Exactly. That part.
Everybody else is getting paid before you. You want to shoot a music video for that song? Videographer gotta get paid. You gotta look good for it. So now you got to buy some clothes. And even if you don't want to buy new clothes, let's say you want to buy your own merch, the manufacturer gotta get paid. Everybody has to get paid before the artist does. So at what
Uh,
point do I get paid? Because mind you, while
okay.
everyone else is while I'm sitting out here paying everybody else for this, right? Remember what I said earlier? I still have to make the content. I still have to make the
Yep.
song. So I still have to pull. I have to take all these words in the English language and make something out of nothing
Mm-hmm.
for free, for free, for
For
free.
free. That shit hurts. I
After
ain't gonna hold
everybody
you.
else here got paid, I still have to do all of this shit for free. But
Every time you say free, my heart vibrates,
you
man.
you get
That's
it, but you
bad.
but you feel me though. But you feel me though. And like I said, that's just a song. So imagine doing a whole album or an EP, something more than 3 songs.
For the
Exactly.
album, it's crazy. What?
Exactly. So at that point, the way I see it is like there is a war on artists right now. Cause like, why is
Mhm.
everyone else getting paid before me? And to be completely honest, I'm doing most of the work right now.
And they
And
live to talk about it.
and y'all living to talk about. And don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking no graphic design. I'm not knocking no videographer because I
Right?
do
Of course
photography and
not.
videography as well. I do that on the side as well, and I've worked with other artists as well. So
Nice.
yeah, so I'm not knocking no a photographer, videographer. I'm not knocking no hairstylist and whatnot. I'm not knocking none of that. But the fact still remains, all of y'all get paid before I do. Cause
Facts.
while y'all get y'all check, I'm over here hoping that this goes somewhere. Hoping. And then if this don't go nowhere, I gotta do it all again for another song. And then another
Mhm.
song. And then another song. And I gotta promote it. So now Instagram getting paid because I gotta promote it. Facebook getting paid because I gotta promote it now. So once I looked at it that way, I'm like, there needs to be some type of return on investment with this. Because
Mhm.
I can't guarantee that I'm gonna put this song out and tomorrow Def Jam gonna give me $1 million or whatever the case may be because the song blew up on TikTok. I can't
Right.
guarantee that. So how do I make it so that if I'm putting all this energy and putting all this work and putting all this money into this, that
Mhm.
it comes back somehow, some way. And for me, it's not just a matter of just selling the music so I can get my money back. It's a matter of providing something of value for the people that's listening because it's no secret. Anybody can go on Apple Music and they can go on Spotify and
Yep.
Tidal and listen to the song every day, all day for the calm price of $10 a month.
Mhm.
So that's fine, but keep in mind, Apple Music is getting paid at that point. I'm still not getting paid, right? But if I tell you to buy the song and now you own it, you can play this song even if your phone died. Cause if you probably can't play the phone died, but
We're gonna
you
talk
can play
about
the song. But you own the song at that point, so you can do whatever you want with it. You can put this in a video because
it. Mhm.
I don't know anybody that's ripping songs over Apple Music. I'm sure you are, but I'm sure it's not legal. So, but at
Right.
this point, now you own the song. So now you can put this in a video. You can put this in TikTok. You can own it, and you can say you have a piece of my heart
Yeah.
because I put
Yeah.
my heart and soul into everything.
Yeah.
So you own this. SOS. Shout out to Enigma. SOS. Sales over streams. That's what we doing all
I
2024.
like that.
Sales
I
over
wanted to know what
streams.
that meant, but that's dope.
SOS. Sales over streams all 2024 and beyond. You heard?
Fire.
So if I sell it to you now you own it. And now anytime you put money towards something, if you buy something, you appreciate it more and you
Mm-hmm.
value it more because you
Mm-hmm.
paid for it now. You own it
Mm-hmm.
now. You have it. And the way I see it, that alone is the value in itself. I think my shit is so good that I want you to buy it. The same way you
Mm-hmm.
gonna buy those Drake concert tickets. The same way you gonna go and you gonna buy that T-shirt. Buy mine too, because
Yeah.
my shit is that good. And
Mm-hmm.
the importance of learning about subscribers and mailing lists, because I'm also the type of person that it needs to be lucrative for everybody involved. So if I'm urging you to buy something, I'm gonna throw something else in there too. Like prime example with Enigma, his album E is for Everything. You can go on Gumroad right now and buy his album, buy a whole bundle, and you get a T-shirt, the album, all that stuff,
Start.
right? Because it's at that point it's providing value for it, right? So same thing with me. If you buy my EP on Even right now, you gonna get a 70% off discount code on my website for anything on the
Fire.
website. There's
Fire.
goodies on there. It's like $70. That's a 70% discount code. So it's not even a matter of yeah,
Seventy
just buy because I
percent.
need the money back. 70,
And that's
seven
still
zero.
not drawing people in. When do you go into a store and see
And
70%
it's
off?
seventy
Like, that's
percent.
wild.
Like talk about it. Hear me out. All pun intended. Shout out to IMCJ Saint, but it's stuff like that. It's adding value to it, and also I don't want to get into the habit of lowering my value on whatever it is that I'm
Mm-hmm.
offering. That's what I'm saying. You buy the album, and even allows you to pay whatever you want for it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you go on Even right now, and you pay like the minimum I have for the EP right now is $10, and even that is, I feel like for the track list, $10 is the bare minimum you have to pay for it. But if you want to give me $500 for
Right.
this, you can give
Right.
me $500 for this. And right now, if you go and you buy it, the next it's right now it's the next two people, but I might extend it because I'm in a good mood. If you go and buy the album right now, you will get a 70% discount code for any other merch on my site. So it's
Mm.
like I'm not just asking you to buy it and that's it, you have it. I'm asking you to buy it. I'm giving you something else with it. And I think
It
a lot of
creates a
artists need to
connection.
start doing that. Right, exactly. I think more artists should start thinking about their art in that way. It's a business. This is a consumable item that you are giving to the public, and it's
Facts.
valuable. So how are you going to add value to it? And that's the mindset I had to get into, and that's the mindset I'm still learning how to maneuver and do
Mm-hmm.
properly for
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the people that are watching and in tune with it and tapping in
Shout
and all that stuff. Because we're gonna
out
keep
to Jody
going.
the Reals. He's a dope MC as well from Staten Island.
Oh,
I'm gonna shout out the location so that way you know that these people. I got
okay,
reach to people, all over
okay.
the,
Shout out to
literally
you,
all over
Jody
the
the
fucking
Real.
world.
We here.
So, but I also want to give them their flowers and where they're from as well. But no, I totally agree with you on that 100%. Sorry, Russian Rebel has been like patiently waiting for me to answer her. She asked two questions. That was not my voice in the beginning of What Now. Yeah, that wasn't me.
Oh yes, okay, yes, was that you?
Yeah, yeah, she
No,
asked if that was me. But the
got
second
you.
question is, can you save the live stream? Okay, so all my episodes are literally posted on my profile. I don't delete any episode because I believe that even though right now there's only 5 or 6 people tuned in, other people go to my page and watch
Yes,
the episodes.
yes.
Even though they may be an hour, hour and a half. I think the episode with Q to God went to 3 hours. That's the longest episode I've done. But we were dropping gems, like, you
I
feel
hear
me? So
that. I hear
sometimes it gets
that.
crazy. But yes, everything will be saved and posted to my actual page. At any point in time, you can
Oh,
go and check out
man,
every
I'm about to rewatch
episode,
this.
even your favorite artist, Akila K. You feel me?
Facts word.
But yes, everything has gems. Everything is designed to speak about what goes on behind the curtains.
Yeah.
Because I want people that like. Let me not say not on our level, but there's artists who want to do the stuff that we're
Mm,
doing, but they probably had like similar experiences and it kind of like derailed them.
right.
So this is that kind of platform for us to speak on it and to show why we're still going. So hopefully whoever watches this definitely
Right.
gathers something and develops a bigger boost of confidence within themselves. So yeah, thank you, Russian Rebel, for tapping in and asking those questions. For sure, I appreciate you.
Facts.
Um, so yeah, nah, that's very dope that you developed that mindset and you had to really discipline yourself to stick to it. Because and you said something very important, like you saying $10 is basically the minimal that you can pay.
Mm,
70% off on your merch and all of that. Like, how is that not drawing people in? Like, how are people not, like, feeding into that?
I mean, I will say
But
like somebody definitely bought it too. People bought it. People definitely bought it.
I believe it.
And shout out to those people that bought it because they got the discount. Um,
But
but
for it to not be bigger than what it
right,
should be, like,
right, absolutely,
and it's crazy because here's the funny part. I've actually meant to make a post about it, but I actually now, before I used to just ignore it, but now I get pissed off where people, like, this artist, they just like kind of, they never speak to me, never like any of my content or anything. But as soon as they drop something, they know how to find my DMs. They know
bruh,
how, and they're like
bruh.
very descriptive. Hey, I dropped this on this website. Go check this. And it's like, what?
No, you don't even talk to me.
But exactly. I mean, granted, there's a lot of artists I don't talk to, but I do check out their
Mm,
stuff and I try to show love where I can, how I
right,
can.
right.
But in particular, this one artist told me, actually, what, last week or something like that, he was saying that he was skeptical to buy the album for $5 because he didn't want to like pay for anything. Yet he still didn't buy the album, which I don't care anyway. But he said, "Oh, I saw somebody that was featured on the album that makes me want to buy it," and I was like. I wanted to say it to him, but again, I just let it rock. But I just wanted to tell him, like, listen, bro, don't
Yo,
even
don't buy that
just fucking
album
unfollow
now.
me,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, just don't
Yeah,
even
like,
do it now.
because if
Nigga,
it
I don't
takes
want it.
someone else to be on my project for you to fuck with it,
Right.
granted, that's interesting, that's cool. But if that's your deciding factor, like,
I'm
if the
good.
70% wasn't good
Yeah,
enough,
nah,
like,
I'm
you know what I'm
good. I'm
saying?
good.
Yeah, just go ahead, bro. Just keep it
Yeah,
moving.
I'm
I
fine.
don't need
Matter of
your
fact, block
support.
me.
I
Matter of
and it's
fact,
not
block
even
me.
about it's not sorry, not to
No,
cut
you
you off.
good.
It's not even about taking it personal. It's just more so like either you rock with
You
me or you don't.
don't.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, like I don't want to force you to do it, but
exactly.
like for you to tell me you were skeptical, what are you skeptical about? Like, I'm not trash. You see me perform, you
Right.
know me. Like, it's kind of like, yeah, all right, yeah, fuck you. But no, no, no. It's very dope that we are in this DIY era to where
Hmm.
we can actually say, like you said, I choose to do this on my own. And
Right.
and granted, frankly, I am tired of paying for studio time. I am tired of like, paying for all of this shit that don't really need to be paid
Right.
for if we just simply invest in
Like
ourselves.
I
Like,
have a whole
and
home set up. Like at this point, like I'm
I,
just
I
like,
peep, I peep.
yeah, I got a
Word,
whole home set up at this point, and I can do it myself. I can do it myself. I got a friend that I send my tracks to. He mixes it. He engineers it. If there's something wrong, he'll just I need you to fix XYZ. Literally, top to the mic, fix it, send it back. Like it can be done. It can be done.
fire,
It can
fire.
be done.
Um, and yeah, I think also having a connection of people, excuse me, um, not necessarily a team, but let's just say you know an engineer who may not really dive too deep into your pockets to help you out with what you need help with. You don't
Exactly.
necessarily got to pay for studio time or nothing. Like you said, you send it to them, they send it right back. That kind of thing. I think that's interesting to like network with people of different calibers within the industry, and not so much use them,
Hmm.
but keep them in your pocket, keep them in your
Right.
back because they
Right.
got you in their back pocket. They know eventually you might have to pay for some studio time. They know
Right.
they might, you might need a feature from them or however that
Right.
goes. So but it is dope to have like people in your back pocket in a good
In
way, because
a good
people take
way.
advantage of that.
Right. We're
Yes.
not taking advantage of people over here.
Right. Definitely. You have to utilize your network, man. It's people there for you, people that actually want to help, which is what I'm starting to like really come across now. I'm really
Right.
starting to come across a lot of people who just want to help. Like they literally care that okay, this guy's been consistently grinding. I would
Right.
love to be a part of that without,
Right.
being a part of it. Like ownership wise. But no, that's really dope. What was I gonna ask you? Oh, I wanted to talk about Hear Me Out. Let me pull that up real quick.
Yes.
Bandcamp, that bad boy.
Hear me out. Now available. You can
Hear
purchase it on
Me
Even.
Out is available on Bandcamp. It's also available on Even.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know what Bandcamp, Even, you just put me onto Gumroad. There's a bunch of other sites. They're literally for artists like us, like we are, we not focused on streams because we realize,
Right.
streams ain't it. And
Right.
it's funny, matter of fact, before we get to your album, and I'm pretty sure you saw this too, because you have Even, and I showed it I was on a live earlier with some homies. I don't
Mm.
know if Shaggy is still here, but he's an artist I was trying to teach him about being more, out there with it, with his music. So boom, check this out. Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
I think I know what you about to
Uh,
show.
yep, yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep, yep. So boom, shout out to Miriam. She was she was the one who bought the album. But this part stuck out to me. Look at that. The actual price
Hmm.
is 50 cents.
Right.
But look at this shit
But that's
right here.
what that's equivalent to. Right.
Yo, like that blew my mind because it's like, yo, you mean to tell me all this time that I've been looking at my song saying like I got like 500 streams or whatever the case is, that's only $2, $3? Like
Bruh.
what?
Bruh. Yo, I saw that when and I that's why I appreciate even because even breaks that down so you can see like yeah it might be $10 but that translates to like 1,000 something streams where you can go to your Apple Music for Artists app and see the 1,000 something streams and be like damn this shit don't mean nothing. No, it actually means something because
Right,
that shit would have been worth $20 if someone had actually
right.
bought it.
Real
And
shit.
it's funny because J. Cole did an interview and he was explaining how first person shooter with Drake went to number one so fast is because people bought it. It was
Mm,
it wasn't even that they was streaming it. It was because the amount of people that bought it shot it up to number one because the money that went towards the purchase translated in triple the streams. So
fire.
it makes a difference when people buy your shit. So and that's why I be
Right.
trying to tell people when they say like, oh well, I mean, I pay for Apple Music, I pay for Spotify, da da da. That's cool, but just keep in mind, Spotify pays art. Was it Spotify, Apple Music? One of them pays artists less than a penny, or both of them pay artists less than a penny per stream. Like Snoop Dogg had 1 billion streams on Spotify. That shit was $42,000.
Mm.
1 billion people, assuming that it was one stream per person. 1 billion people streamed his music. He got $42,000 off of that. Snoop Dogg, the war on
A
artists
billion
has to
people.
stop.
You would think that's $1 billion.
The war on artists has to stop. Why is everybody else getting paid before us,
And Snoop Dogg is a household name, so that was kind of shocking to even hear that.
bruh?
Shout out to Russian Rebel. She's on fire with the questions. Do sales go through subscriptions like Apple Music? Do you want to answer
No,
that?
I can. So when you're buying it through, even even or Bandcamp, that's a one-time purchase. Like I know for even will prompt you to make an account.
Hmm.
And then once you make the account, you can actually stream the project from the Even website. And they don't have an app just yet, but the Even website, if you use it on your phone, whatever phone you use, whether it's Android, iPhone, whatever the case may be, it will work like an app. Like you can close out the app, you can go to another part of the phone, and the music will still play in the background. Now, Bandcamp, the app itself you can't buy it off of, but you can
Hmm.
stream it on the app itself. And if you buy it, it'll show up in your account. So these platforms don't require a subscription. At the very least, Even doesn't. There is a version of Bandcamp that can be a subscription. I personally don't have that on my account. I know some people that do, which I think is cool too because that's a monthly. I think it's either monthly or weekly, one of the two.
It's
And
yearly.
the artist is yearly.
Yeah,
Oh, it's yearly. Okay.
subscription is yearly.
Right, and that artist can give you exclusive content that you can't get anywhere else. So if you are paying for that subscription, that's an investment not only for the artist that you're a fan of, but that's also a way for that artist to connect with you on a personal level
Yeah.
without having to actually be with you. So
Hmm.
you get all the perks of like really being in it with your favorite artist without all the legalities and whatnot. So I hope that answers the
Right.
question.
Nah, you did. You did. But yeah, there's no subscriptions. It's all about what you want to do for that. But again, if you are going to go subscription, it is yearly. So you do not have to break the bank every month. Like you can literally go, I'm not gonna lie, that shit dangerous because the other day, fucking DistroK just caught me with the
Bro,
annual. Yo, they
can we
got me
just talk about
so
that real
bad. And I
quick?
was like,
That shit came out of nowhere. I was looking at my bank statement like, what the hell is Oh,
yo. But so I think with yearly subscription, that's the only thing y'all gotta
Y-
watch out for is make sure
yeah.
y'all remember when
They
y'all purchase that, because that
they
shit will
sneak
sneak
up
up
on
on
you.
you.
They sneak
Um,
up on you.
but I do like yearly subscriptions because it just
Cheaper.
kind of gives you an idea of what you're dealing with for long term, so to
Yeah.
speak. You don't. It's not like just a teaser for a month, and you got like, damn, I got to make another $15 or $10.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. I'm not got time for
shout
that.
out to y'all paying for Apple Music and Spotify and Tidal, but stop playing. Y'all wasting
Come on
money.
now. Come
Y'all
on
can
now.
own the music too.
Right. Right.
But let's get to the album. Hear me out. What
Hear me out, my baby.
what inspired this cover art?
So the premise behind Hear Me Out and like the title and everything. My last project prior to that was when the album dropped, and that was a series. So
Mm-hmm,
in the process of doing that, like the when the album dropped was the finale of the series. So in the process
mm-hmm,
of doing that, I felt like I really found my voice and the type of artist that I wanted to be, and even the person I want to be. Like I am the person I think I am in my head. So that whole journey leading up to when the album dropping really allowed me to find
mm,
what who I was and what I wanted to say, artist wise. Um, and also did a lot for me on a personal level too. But once I figured that out, I had a whole lot more to say. Like anyone who knows me knows, I ain't gonna lie, I like to talk. That's why I rap.
I hear that.
And I tell people all the time, I like to chat sometime and rhyme. That's really what it comes down to. That's really what I do.
Right.
Um, so because of that, I realized I had a whole lot more to say. And we live in an era where people can literally talk about anything and there will be something that'll say it's true. Like if I told you
Mm,
right now 2 + 2 = 7 and you went on Google and Googled yours 2 + 2 = 7, I guarantee you'd find something that would prove that 2 + 2 = 7. Whether it's true or not, you're gonna find it.
right.
On
Right.
TikTok, on Instagram, like, you can literally go on TikTok and learn how to do anything. So in the digital era where everybody has something to say, you can't hear anybody. And
Mm,
and that's why I named it Hear Me Out, because everybody's talking, but listen to me. I have something to say. I have something to say. Listen to what I'm saying.
I feel that.
Like calm all the other stuff out. You can hear them later. Listen to me. And the project became even more important to me once I left the situation that I was in with the production company, because
Mm,
at that point, I really felt like I had something to say in terms of being an artist and living in this era where artists are the last on the totem pole. Because
mm-hmm.
not even aside from the fact that everybody gets paid before the artist, but the artist also doesn't get that much respect. People just be telling you, yo, shut up and
Definitely
rap.
that part.
The artists really don't get that much respect. People be saying shut up and rap. Even with a lot of female rappers, a lot of
Right.
like rap. Rhapsody been rapping for years, for years.
Still don't
Rhapsody would
get the
rap
respect.
circles. Rhapsody
Still
would
don't get
rap.
the respect.
Still don't get the respect because she not out here shaking ass,
I discovered her on the app called Rhapsody. That's how real it has been. Like,
bruh,
that's crazy.
bruh.
But nah, I think she mentioned that a few times. Actually, there was a song I was listening to recently. I don't remember the name of it. It's one of her newer songs. Not Asteroids.
Oh, not asteroids. I thought it was
Yeah, not
asteroids,
Asteroids. It was something before that. I know it was from her older projects because some. I'm not gonna name the person. I don't want to give no energy to their name, but this idiot hacked my Spotify and deleted all of my fucking music, like all of it. Like I had like almost 4,000 songs. And Rhapsody, I had at least like 4 or 5 projects from her in the library. Like I was really fucking with Rhapsody. So yeah, I just recently started downloading everything again. This fucking idiot killed my whole vibe. But
Damn, you gotta find them.
um, yeah, no, she's been rapping circles around the grades like for a while. Like I've watched her in several ciphers. I've heard on multiple
Rapping,
features. Like, and she's just
rapping,
too fire, man. Like,
rapping circles, bruh. And no,
yo,
but she don't get the shine because she not out here shaking ass. Because she not out here talking about she running niggas' pockets. Because she not um rapping about a Birkin bag
but
and shit
niggas
like that.
know, niggas know.
Like,
They don't want to acknowledge it,
but
but
they
niggas
know.
know. Like, they know.
But they know. You feel me? And
So I feel
it's
like that
stuff
applies to a lot of us too.
right. And it's stuff like that that I feel like a lot of artists don't get we don't get to be heard the way that we want to be heard or the way that we
Hmm?
should be heard. So that's why I named it Hear Me Out, because I had more to say. I feel like as an artist we get constantly disrespected, and then even for myself in that situation I was in, I felt I felt like people did me dirty, and now y'all gotta pay the consequence of that. I'm airing everybody out. Fuck all
Yep.
y'all. I'm airing everybody out, and everybody gonna hear what I have to say. So that was how Hear Me Out came to be. It was never meant to be a long project. It like the amount of songs that was on it was the exact amount of songs that I wanted it to be. And I will like a fun fact about it. It actually had to get restructured because of the situation I was in. I had to pretty much scrap like 90% of it at one point in
Hmm.
time. So the version
Oh,
of Hear Me Out
wow.
that y'all heard was not the original version of it. Like I could say again,
Mm,
like because I'm looking at the list, 'cause I wrote it on my dry erase board, so I'm
right.
looking at it right now. Like a good 80% of it was completely different.
I believe you.
Yeah,
I
but
believe you.
I like this version better.
Nah, definitely. And I agree with that. I had that challenge with this album. I like started the album back in 2019 because I released the first one. Sorry, I released Unexpected 2
Hmm.
at the end of 2017, and I forgot when, but it was in December, I believe, or November, around
Hmm.
one of those two. Anyways, creating the third one, I went through like several different producers. I've created different songs, but also being kind of like played a part in me identifying the sound that I wanted to go with because
Right.
whatever I did have for the album and whatever like survived the whole hacking experience, whatever didn't survive it, sorry, those were the songs I didn't need. You know, those are the songs I really wasn't really fucking with. I think there was only one song where I was like, damn, I wish I could
I
remember
wish I
that
could have
shit.
did
But
it. Yeah,
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 yeah.
but no, it a lot of times we go through these phases where it's like, you know, and people don't even realize it. They think that, you know, we just created these songs and just
And then
slapped them
that
on
was
there.
it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, nah, we definitely went through some shit. So let's get to some of my favorites. Um, Hear Me Out, obviously the album title track.
Hmm.
And you definitely spoke some shit on there. I ain't gonna lie, I gotta do better with that. I need to start like writing down like lyrics and shit like that. So I can't even quote to you what I thought was pretty dope.
It's all
So,
good.
you know, moving forward, any music artist that I interview, I gotta make sure that I like write some quotes and stuff because I think
It's
that
all
would be
good.
important as well to
Right.
like come up with questions and stuff.
Right.
But I'm still learning, you know,
Of
I'm
course.
still learning on the
Of
journey.
course. Of course.
But Hear Me Out, I think was a really dope track.
Appreciate that. Thank
Again,
you.
you were being vulnerable,
It
maybe
was
not any
honest.
emotional state, but you were definitely
Right.
calling shit out.
Now,
Like, yo,
I ain't gonna
listen,
lie. I was in a bag when I wrote that one. Definitely in a
uh,
bag.
Russian Rebel said you should release your original takes on SoundCloud. That would be interesting to see the
So
difference.
I thought about that, and to be quite honest with you, I might still do that. It's
Mm,
like full transparency, y'all will probably never hear the versions of the songs that were originally going to be on it
mm,
for several reasons that I'm not even going to get into because it's not even important. But
right.
y'all will probably never hear the original versions of some of those songs. However, y'all will probably hear the verses from those songs at some
Hmm. Okay.
point in time this year, more than likely. So
Interesting.
that's more than likely going to happen to Russian Rebel. That more than likely is going to happen because I heard yours feel the
Dope,
same way.
dope. All Up in the Wrist. I actually commented on that. I think
Mhm.
that was one of my favorite tracks off the album. I enjoyed that one. It was pretty interesting. It gave it was a straight up hip hop
Yes.
vibe, but it like the fact that you were like all up in the wrist is like, you know, anyone reads the title and they're thinking like trap or something, so that automatically makes them like tune in. But then they get hit with a whole nother style. And it's like, oh shit! Like I don't know if that's what I was expecting, but I fuck with it.
Right,
Like
right.
me personally, I just played it straight back. When I started listening to the song, because I
Mhm.
just had everything going, and then when that song came on, that's when I was like, "What's this?" Like,
Ooh,
um,
it's nice.
yeah, yeah. Nah, so you definitely dropped some gems on that one. I like your flow on that one.
Appreciate
The
it.
beat is fucking crazy.
So shout out
Get
to
'em,
Produced by Pablo because Produced by Pablo produced All Up in the Rest, and he also produced
fire.
Guava, which is also on the EP as well.
Yeah, that was also a dope track.
Thank you, thank you.
Get 'em kind of brought me back to the Cassidy battle rap days, like the earlier
Love that.
phases, because it was
Love
like
that. Love that.
yo, nah, that was interesting. I love that one for sure. Um, Detour. Let's talk about that one because that's like your
Detour.
biggest. That's your biggest. Yeah, that's your biggest joint. And that's the single that you really push out the most.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you have a video to that with
Yes.
Enigma. Shout out to Enigma.
Shout out.
Um, so let's talk about. the relationship you share with Enigma before we get into
Okay.
that one.
And Enigma's in the lot. He's in the live, so shout out to him. Um, but so I met Enigma. I think we're going on 2, 3 years ago. Through a mutual friend. And I tell him this all the time. The mutual friend, shout out to Steven, because Steven introduced us. We all work together. Um, and when Steven first told me about him, this is I was out of our job for a period of time. I was working somewhere else, and so he told me about him. And I'm very particular when anyone says, "Yo, I know this person," and they rap or they sing. I'm very particular about that because I'm like, if they not good, it's a dub. I'm not giving this person no attention. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. Like
Right.
I'm very harsh about that, especially if the person rap. So right. So he sent me his project, Life and Rhymes, and which was a fire ass project. So y'all should definitely check that out by Enigma. And I ain't gonna lie, it was fire. So I was like, oh, he's actually kind of cool. All right, I can fuck with him. He seems nice. He seems like a good guy. That's cool. And I actually met him in person. And I was like, oh, okay, he's from Brooklyn. All right, cool. Seems like a nice guy. He's cool. That's great. And then we just started chopping it up and whatnot. And like aside from him being a fire ass rapper, dope ass person, like he's a genuine soul, like a genuine human being. And I think that anyone that has had the pleasure of knowing him, uh, that's what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, that's fuck. I can't think of the word right now. But anyone who has the pleasure of knowing him should be honored because he's a
Facts.
really cool dude. Um, great artist, talented artist, crazy ass rapper. Like I will say, sometimes dude be writing verses. I'm just like, how the fuck did you think about that? Like,
Yep.
not even
I'm
trying to
that
be
person. I
like, how the
definitely.
fuck did you think that? Like that he has one line on his album that every time I hear it, I'm just like, what the fuck were you thinking when you wrote this? Like, ain't no like don't regular person don't think like this. Who are
That's
you?
my infamous question that I like. Anytime I hear a firebar, I gotta ask myself, where was your mindset? Like,
What
what the hell
were
was you
you
going through? Like, who
doing
hurt
when
you?
you
Like,
wrote this?
word.
So yeah, but like ever since and he was also in that particular situation I was in with the production company. So um something that I'm proud of both of us for was that we found the courage to leave that situation and really start doing this on our own, building our own team and really getting to it. So yeah, like we've been locked in ever since. All pun intended. Because he has a song called Locked In, that's why. But yeah, that's my guy. My partner in rhyme, you heard. Oh, did this freeze?
My fault. That
No,
was
you
my
good.
dumbass mistake. Um, but now I caught that. And I love the fact that y'all support each other. That's really, really dope. And that's very important. I kind of had a situation like that, but I think our egos got in the way. Mostly mine, and it wasn't so much of an ego thing. I think it was more of a passion thing.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't even want to say ego. That don't even sound right. Like I don't even have a big ego at all. Like, but it was definitely a passion thing where I was just like, damn, so this person's not on my level. Like, what's going on? Like,
Why
supposed
am
to be on
I
the same
here?
page. But nah, yeah, that's dope that y'all really support each other. So what inspired the track Detour? Like, was it because y'all like had to make the detour, or did you like, I guess, come to the conclusion that in life, shit may not go your way,
Right.
like even if you didn't want to make the detour, the shit just happens. Like, so
So
talk about it.
so so it was a mixture of both. It was a mixture of both. Because no matter what, for anybody, whether you're in music, whether you're I don't know, trying to be a doctor, trying to be a lawyer. Sometimes you gotta pivot, sometimes you gotta make another move, sometimes you gotta make a detour in where
Hmm.
you're going. And I feel like people shouldn't be afraid of that. People, it's
Hmm.
gonna be scary. It's gonna be hard at first. When you don't know what's on the other side of whatever movie you're about to make, it does get a little frightening and gets a little daunting. But we can't be afraid of that. We have to embrace that because you
Hmm.
literally don't know what's coming next unless you pivot and you make that detour. Um, and I will say also, due to the situation we had just come out of, it it put a little fuel under us to like really, yo, we're gonna get this done.
Mhm.
We're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna make a fire ass song while we do it. Right? But it was more of a motivational slash therapeutic thing for us to really get it off our chest and really make a dope song that people can vibe to, people can dance to, because like I will be places and people like, "Oh, made a detour, right? See, I'm doing the dance, I'm doing it." But like people resonate with that. It's a catchy song.
Right.
It's an upbeat song, and when you really listen to what we're saying, like at some point in time, you have to make a detour. You have to pivot. You got to move a different way. You got to figure out another way on this road to greatness, on this road to success,
Mhm.
because it's not always going to be linear, right? Sometimes you're gonna have to do a zigzag. Sometimes you gotta do a nice little swirl and come back to where you started the first time. So that was really the inspiration behind it. And because of the type of record it was, as far as the video was concerned, we didn't want it to be like this serious uh we're mad at people type of
Mhm.
song, because it's a fun record. When you listen to it, it's a fun record.
Right.
So we wanted to add a bit of humor to it and make the video entertaining, something that was going
Mhm.
to live far beyond whatever theme or whatever idea that spawned it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's dope. I did watch the video.
Hmm.
What I liked about it was you brought skits back. We don't we don't
Yes.
we
We
don't
don't do
got that
that
in music
anymore.
videos
We don't do
anymore.
that
And if
anymore.
it is a skit, it just doesn't even match the song. Like so, it's just horrible. Like why do you even got it there?
Right.
But that's something that I love. I always try to incorporate a little bit of acting or something in all of my videos. My most recent one, I haven't done it, but any video that I do moving forward, I'm gonna go back to like
Yeah, because
adding the skits into it.
we don't do that anymore. Like I never understood why we don't do that. Like, so fun fact, the guy, the record exec in the video is the same gentleman that's also doing the interludes on Hear Me Out. And
Okay,
he's also the same person that did the interludes on my album when the album dropped.
fire.
Actually, if you've listened to any of my projects, he's been on every one of my projects. He's a really good friend of mine, and he's a comedian. He's funny as hell, like
That's
hilarious.
dope.
So he's actually been on every one of my projects thus far.
That's
And that's like,
fire.
that's our thing. Like anytime I have something going on, I'm like, "Yo, you good? Are you free? Can you pull up? I need you to do something for me real quick." And
That's
he'll pull
dope.
up like that because he loves doing stuff like that. So he's been on every project, and I asked him if he wanted to do this, and he was like, "Hell yeah!" He pulled up. Y'all, you see what he did?
That's
Hilarious.
tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. I liked it. And then like the fact that y'all kept ending up in the wrong location. I'm right
Like
here.
where?
This is where
Like
the
when you
GPS
got me
got me.
going, bro?
Like, yo, nah. That was pretty funny, man. Shout out to y'all for bringing that creative vision to the video because y'all could easily just did y'all little takes and y'all
And
sections and just let it
yeah,
be. But y'all was like, nah, we're gonna expand this shit with a little bit of humor,
we gonna
also
make
with
it
some truth
entertaining.
to it.
Yeah.
Like motherfuckers be having us going each and every which way, but not the place we supposed to be going.
Right. But
Like,
going back to what I said before, everybody want the title, nobody want to put in the work. Because if you notice
right,
throughout the entire video, who was the only people going places?
yeah, like,
And the
yo.
gentleman holding the detour sign. Shout out to the IMCJC because he just in the back with
Like,
the
he
detour
had the
sign.
illest straight face. I was just like this the whole time. Like, yo, I don't know what y'all paid him to do that, but I can't keep a straight face that long. Like, and he was like really sold on it. He's like
In the
not
back with the
even looking at
sign.
anything else. He's just there. Like I
Yeah,
almost
shout out
thought he
to
was a tree at some point because he was just so
yo.
still. Like
Somebody
he
said that
just
too.
didn't
He's a
move.
tree just in the back, just like this.
Yo,
Yeah,
nah, that's
shout out to
funny.
Create Studios 718 because he shot the video as well.
That's
Yeah.
fire. Um, yeah. So, speaking of, again, I did watch a few of your videos. So, what's your do do you do treatments or is it kind of like you just kind of go off of what's in your head?
Definitely a treatment. I mean, don't get me wrong. The treatment is something that's something that goes on in my head, but I like
Hmm.
to write things down. That's the videographer and the filmmaker in me and the writer too. Like I
Hmm.
will do a treatment first. So excuse me, we absolutely had a treatment for that, and we sent it to Create Studio 718, and he read over it, and he was with it, and that's how. Because I also feel like when you write a treatment, it it makes the shooting process a whole lot more smoother because you know what you're doing when you have to do it, how it should be shot, and things like that. So that was something that myself and where we collaborated on. Um, so that way there was a clear, concise vision of what we wanted. And like I said, Create Studios, he saw the vision, was able to put it together, and Thus, you have the detour video.
Fire. I'm not gonna say I struggle. That's probably a bad word, but let's just say I've had a little trouble creating treatments.
Mm.
My thing is I'm not like photogenic. I'm not like visually intellectual. You know, none of that. But I do see a lot of shit. Like when I'm making my music or whatever, I see a lot of stuff that I want to do in a video already. But a lot of times, once the camera comes out, it's never the same. You know, so a lot of
True.
my videos were literally on the fly. Like I booked this guy probably like a week and a
Mm-hmm.
half, maybe a month and a half, like in advance. But it was always like kind of troubling for me to like get my thoughts onto a paper and how I wanted it to turn out visually.
I mean, I
So
will say treatments can get wordy. They can
mm,
definitely get wordy. Um, and if you're not someone that's used to writing treatments, it's gonna seem like you're just writing a one long ass essay. But
right.
right, but I think that like I also feel like there's several ways you can write a treatment. It doesn't need to be the traditional way a treatment is written. Some people I've seen some people do treatments and it's just bullet points of what they want with, and if there's a specific shot that they want, they'll put
Hmm.
that line of a song.
Hmm.
I want it to look like this, and then go from there. Like the treatment doesn't necessarily have to be this detailed summary of how something is supposed to be shot. I feel like a treatment is just the summary and the specifications of what you want shot for the video that you're trying to put together.
Mm. That's fire. Um, so would you agree? Well, I don't want to say agree or disagree because that kind of puts it up for
Mhm.
debate. But would you say that treatments are essential, or you know, it's kind of just I guess subjective to whatever the artist wants to do?
I think treatments are essential. I think so. I don't think that the artist needs to have a treatment every time. I think it's better because who knows the vision for the song better than you? You wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't think a treatment needs to be done by the artist every single time. Because me as a creative, I like to let other people create. And a videographer, a filmmaker, is a creator themselves. So
Mm.
although I have a vision of what I want, I don't like limiting somebody else's creativity by telling them, yeah, I
Mm.
want you to do it the way I want it. Like, this is an art. Because shooting a music video, shooting any type of video is an art in itself. So
Yeah, of
yeah, so
course.
there are times where I want a video shot and I won't make a treatment because I want to see what the videographer is gonna do.
Hmm.
And I'll go for what they how what the where the song took them. Because for me, it also shows me like what other people get from my song. Because the way I see it might not be the way you see it.
Yeah,
That
that's
that's the
facts.
beauty of art.
Yeah, 100%. I'm also big on letting the videographers kind of help me out as well too. I've been blessed to work with some videographers. I mean, I'll be honest, like all of my other videos, I think there's only two videos that well, yeah, Mr. Unexpected, uh, 10 p.m. in London, and Everybody Dies. Those are the only uh, those are the only three videos that I've shot where you know the videographer actually helped me out with the idea. I mean, I knew what I wanted to do, but because they were like so experienced in their fields, like they were able to help me out to expand it even further, and that's why those videos are the way they
Mm,
are. But my first few videos, I think like my first 8 videos, they were all shot with the same videographer,
okay.
and he was just kind of starting out himself, but he was like very stubborn to like trying different shit. Like actually, there's a song called "For the Night,"
Mm,
um, and the artist that was featured. Okay, so that was the artist that I was telling you about. That we were on the same page, but then one day we wasn't.
yeah.
So that was the day that we wasn't on the same page. That video.
Mm,
Um, he wanted more like materialistic requests. Like it wasn't, yeah, like pertaining to the video. It was more like I want people to look at this and be like, oh, validation. Like, nah, we don't move like that.
mm,
But the theme was in a lounge. I got the lounge for free. I went the bartender. I went to
that
high school
help.
with him, so he
That's
blessed me on
that.
that. The owner, she didn't even want to charge me. Because she was just opening up the lounge, so she was
She
saying,
was
you
she
know,
was
like
a
as
it's
long
a
as
business.
everyone you
Yeah.
bring can like support the bar and the
Right.
vendors, then
You
you're good
good.
to go. You can do whatever the hell you want. You can say as long as you want, whatever.
Right.
So I was happy for that. But videographer didn't even want to wear appropriate clothing. It wasn't a strict dress code. She just said she don't want no sweats, no hoodies,
Yeah.
no hats.
And,
And yeah, and mind you, this dude was being paid, so he didn't even want to come through for that. So
oh, he was
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, nah. Sometimes, not sometimes. Sorry, I always appreciate the videographer who goes the extra mile to make
mhm.
sure your shit goes,
Right.
you know,
Right.
100%. And it's always important, again, to, like you said, not limit anyone's creative vision. You know, if they see something, let them pitch in. You know, if you see something, you can pitch in. You know, I think we should always remove our like perfectionism. You know, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of times you had like a song or a video or something, and someone was like, "Yo, you should stand right here," or "You should rap it this way," or and you might be thinking in your head, "What the fuck do you know about what I want to do?" But then
Right.
it turns out to
Like
be like,
this is my
"Oh
shit.
shit, it's on fire!"
This
Like,
is my
hold
shit.
on, like. Word. So been there, done that. Word. So I'm always open to like listening to other people for sure. Hear me out. I like to hear other
Hear
people
me
out for
out.
sure. Um, word, man. So I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot we could talk about, but we've already been on for an hour 40. I try to keep it, you know, under 2 hours, but sometimes I
No,
get so carried away. I'm not gonna
I feel
lie.
you. I
Just
feel
like you,
you.
I love to converse and share
Right.
knowledge and
No,
just
this was a
vibe
good
out. So.
conversation. This was a good
No,
conversation. So like I'm
for
here
real,
for
for
this.
real. And shout out to everybody that tuned in, asked questions, and all of that. So just to recap,
Mhm.
um, if you feel like being independent, go do it. We're in the DIY
Right.
era.
Like being
Um,
independent, go do it. You can do it yourself. DIY.
Sales over
Sales
streams.
SOS all 2024 and beyond. You heard?
Sales over
Sales
streams
over
for
streams.
sure. Um, what else? Get you a team. I mean, even if you can't get to a team, because I still don't have a team, and you know, to get into that a little bit, it's because like people again want validation. So there's a lot of times where I've like tried working with people, but because I didn't go the route that everyone else is going,
Mm.
they were just kind of like,
Right.
oh, you know what? Let me just
Right.
go
Right.
find someone who's going to go that route. So, um, yeah, get you some people that just believe in your vision, even if they're not on your team. Just get you some people that believe in you. Um,
That's really all it is. Get you some people that believe in you and want to help. Simple.
that's a
Real
fact.
simple.
Stay true to your vision. Don't matter what happens. You know, shit gets rough. You got to make that detour. So and what else did I want to recap? I don't know. It kind of slipped my mind. I had a whole list just now, but um, thank you for being a part of this.
Thank you for
Shout out
having
to
me.
Jody DeReal. She has been tuning into a lot of the
Jody
interviews
the real.
recently, and again, she's a dope artist. So make sure y'all get in
Love
touch.
that.
She's on the album, by the way.
Okay.
Lyrical Exercise 3. Yeah, she's on there.
Oh,
That's
now that I'm looking at the name, like, why
tough.
does that name look so familiar? It's like, oh,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
makes sense. That
she's
makes
on
sense.
the
Okay.
album for
Yo,
sure.
everyone who's in this
Um,
live, please follow me because I will follow you back. I just want to make sure I tap in with everybody.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
everybody in this
she's
live,
dope.
if y'all not follow me, and I will follow you back because I'm definitely not gonna remember all these names. So please,
But yeah, man, thank you for being a part of this. I'm actually gonna bump this album right now again. It's gonna be like my fourth time bumping it,
love
so
that.
I'm actually getting into it. And I have a playlist on the streaming
Hmm.
platforms. But now since I've converted off of that, I'm
Right.
trying to do the same thing I do on there. Like I have a playlist there,
Hmm.
so I'm trying to create a playlist, you know, with the independent artists and
Right.
releases and stuff, to where I can like again completely leave. I want to stop paying my subscription fees and all of
But
that,
you
like in
tell
total,
me, I'm trying
you
not to
know.
get a sneak attack again, like I did 2 days ago, because this fucking got me. I was like, oh, what is this?
But nah, yeah, definitely. I need to add some of your stuff to the playlist, whether it's on the streaming or creating my own for sure.
Got you. Well, I'm on
Back
Bandcamp
to the
too, so
LimeWire
whatever you do on
days,
Bandcamp, I'll see it.
for sure, for sure. And once again, everybody, if y'all don't know who this is Akila
Gang,
K,
gang,
one of
Bronx
the
Sirens, how you
dopest
heard?
MCs out there.
Yes, yes.
Brooklyn, you heard. But
All day,
yo,
all day.
peace out to y'all, and let's do it again,
Appreciate y'all. Thank you for having me.
no doubt. You gotta leave though. I'll do
Okay,
my outro
damn.
after this.
All right, baby.
All right, guys, that's the end of episode 19. That was Akila K. A whole lot of gems, whole lot of gems. I feel like I was in the middle of a diamond heist just now, man. But yeah, next Wednesday I'll be back for episode 20, the big dub. We got Sadai, Wild Heart, I feel like I always have trouble saying her name, but I always, yeah, Sada E Wildheart. She's fire. She's a dope singer. Um, and you guys will get to experience her on episode 20. If you liked Akila K, make sure you give her a follow. If you tuned in and didn't know about me, I do this every Wednesday and Friday. So if you liked what you saw, give me a follow. Type in every Wednesday, Friday. I'll make sure I post about it, let people know I'm going live. And this is all for us independent artists, you know. This is for us, like, really to speak about what goes on, while we're on our journey climbing to the top. A lot of people might see us like we're just releasing music, or we're just just embodying the personality of a rapper, singer, whatever. But there's so much more to this. So each episode you'll get a different artist. Each episode you'll get probably maybe the same gems, but they'll be dressed up a different way. Either way, we're always going to get some type of gems that are very useful to anyone that's watching, looking for inspiration, motivation, direction, whatever you want to dress it up as. So yeah, next Wednesday, I'll see you guys at episode 20. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, Cuzzo, for your interview. Thank you for always supporting, by the way, for real. But yo, peace out, y'all. Enjoy. Oh, sorry. If y'all still tuned in, the episode will be posted on the page. All my episodes are posted on the page, so make sure y'all tap in. Appreciate y'all.